On Friday, November 15th, we're going to see a return match between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, two top prominent women's fighters who 2 years ago put on one of the biggest events for women's boxing. And now they're going to settle a score. Katie, Serrano 2. Let's talk about it. On Friday's Netflix Supercard, November 15th, Taylor versus Serrano 2 is going to take place. And the event will be a part of the undercard that is outstanding of Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. But this is the thing. These two fighters deserved more than just to be a part of an undercard, because they took on one another in a situation where they had Fight of the Year just a couple of years ago, and now to be rematching at a higher weight division than originally contested. We're going to see what they have left, but at the same time, the focus should be on the two. When you're talking about Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, you're talking about the cream of the crop of women's boxing. And in May of 2022 at MSG, they put on the type of a match that showed the best and the most of their shortcomings when they faced off against one another. For Amanda Serrano, who is noted to come in and be a devastating puncher at the lighter weights where she's competed and been a champion, she was able to gain the respect of Taylor, who is more of an active boxer puncher who can get in and out, give angles, and be spiritedly competitive in her endeavors. She has also been the more active between the two since they last met in May of 2022, having 5 matches since she last saw Katie. Now, the thing about Katie, who's fought 3 times since facing Serrano, there was a delay because they were going to have an immediate rematch after their stellar first meeting. What we were able to see between the two was a typical boxer versus puncher type scenario, also along with the traditional southpaw versus orthodox fighter. Katie being the orthodox fighter, Serrano being the southpaw and the puncher. And the crowd at MSG on that night were totally enthralled by the exhibition of skill sets that these women and spirit that these women put on. Now, it depends on what you really like from the fighters, because I thought that Amanda pulled it out, though Katie escaped with a close decision that was split, and the MSG crowd was split as well. But both fighters were intrigued by the packed house. The influence of the crowd was readily apparent, and you could see that there was a real feel and atmosphere for the sport of boxing. And being that this was women's boxing, it was amazing to see the show of support that was brought when these two champions came together. What I also noticed was the competitiveness between the two. But that is not to say that Serrano isn't equally as spiritedly competitive, because the world featherweight titleist that she is, former undisputed, because she's given up some titles and even is giving up a lot to challenge Katie in this particular match. She's the one that has represented boxing from a business standpoint like no other. Being advanced at the ages of 38 and 36, with Taylor being the elder, Serrano having the more fights. These two fighters are both 5'5" and have a 66 and 65.5 inch reach. So on the scales, they're quite similar. Their temperaments, personalities, and fighting styles are definitely opposing. When you think about Taylor, she's like a machine. She's in there, she's rapid fire, she looks to work very hard. She brings her record of 23-1 with 6 KOs paired against Serrano's 47-2 with 1 draw and 31 KOs. Serrano is more of a seek and destroy type fighter who really sets down on her shots to really try to inflict damage. Katie is more get in and out, and I do believe in this rematch Katie is going to fight with a little bit more purpose. Serrano may look to try to box more and score more because the rounds were very close the first time around, and even though she was tagging Katie with solid shots, she may have needed to run off more combinations. But altogether, I do see this being another opportunity for Katie to come out on top. There's just something about Amanda that when you talk about these two being paired against one another, I do believe that Katie has an edge psychologically. I could go into it in more depth, but I think I'll wait until after the fight finishes to do that. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think about this fight and these fighters and how things are going to play out. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.